Let's talk about this 38-year-old man, Bolanle Fadairo, who on Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, shot his friend of over 30 years several times at close range, thereby killing him on the spot, and still allowed his 2-year-old son to die in his SUV. Essien Michael was a security guard in Houston, Texas, USA, and he had known Bolanle for so many years, for 30 years, that Bolanle said. And on several occasions, Essien Michael had helped Bolanle in different capacities, from financial to getting him a job or otherwise. But on this Tuesday, both of them had agreed to meet in the parking lot of this convenience store on El Camino del Rey Street by Chimney Rock Road in Houston, USA at 1:45. The surveillance camera first picked Bolanle Fadairo in the parking lot moving about before Essien pulled in. When Essien came out of his vehicle, they started having this argument. We didn't know what they were arguing about. The surveillance camera did not pick up their voice, but all they saw was that Bolanle picked out a gun, shot Essien several times, and decided to run from the scene. Essien, knowing that he needed help fast if he was going to stay alive, decided to seek for help, but he could only make few steps before he fell down in that same parking lot and died on the spot. Bolanle, who had already left the scene, came back quickly, went into Essien's SUV, and decided to steal the car and run away, knowingly or unknowingly to him that Essien's 2-year-old son, Michael, was sitting in the car seat at the back of that SUV. People that were around that heard the gunshot quickly called the police to the scene. When the police got to the scene, Essien Michael, who was still on his security guard uniform, was already dead, and police had to rely on the surveillance camera to look for the person that committed this act. And a manhunt was made for him, and he was only described as a thin-built man with a white shirt. Around 5 p.m., that Mabel, Essien's wife, who had not heard from her husband, neither had she seen her son, decided to call the police and told the police that her husband and her son were missing. Police had to get enough information to establish the facts. Maybe the cops they picked from this parking lot was the same person that this woman was describing over the phone. After every information they could gather from the woman, they concluded that Essien was the person that the wife was actually talking about that was missing, but they needed to find this baby and this vehicle. Within 30 minutes of this search, they found where this black SUV belonging to Essien was parked. The engine was off, and all the glass of the vehicle were all wound up. Police got there and they looked through their glass and noticed that there was a little boy at the back seat. They had to break the window to rescue this boy, who was all responsive when they brought him out. Every effort to revive Michael proved abortive, and Michael was declared dead. Maybe he died from suffocation because the temperature that day was approximately 35 degrees Celsius. And now the police knew they needed to find this man any way they could. Around 4 a.m. the next day, being Wednesday, Bolanle Fadairo was arrested on Elm Street, where he was working as a security guard, just a few yards away from where he killed Essien. And he was taken to police custody, pending when they will bring him before the judge. On Thursday, September 22, 2022, Bolanle was arraigned before the court, where he pleaded guilty that he killed Michael because Michael was owing him. And the judge has placed a bond of $750,000 each on the person that he killed, and $50,000 for tampering with evidences. According to the police, they said immediately Bolanle killed Essien, he went to the convenience store and was moving around as if nothing happened. And it was after he left the convenience store that he went into Essien's vehicle and drove away, thereby deleting the chunk part of the chat between him and Essien. So they believed there was something he was hiding from them, and because of tampering with evidences, a bond of $50,000 was placed on him. So the total bond on Bolanle Fadairo is 1,550,000 US dollars before they could allow him to go. And I guess the corpse of Michael Essien has been deposited into the morgue, pending when the family will have the time to bury him. We pray may their soul and the soul of Michael rest in peace. For those of us outside the country, and for those of us in Nigeria, any money you cannot forgo, do not lend out that money. Any money you know if they don't pay you back, you can't ask the person to go. Do not give out that money, because by the time you want to get it back, it's going to be brutal. I don't know why some of our people always like to pay back evil for good. Is it because they know that you can't fight in this part of the world? That if you are the initiator of a fight, you are going to go in for it. So they're always ready to fight if you need your money back. Also, if you know your friend is the violent type, is the type that does not care, because a lady where Bolanle was working, Ali, they said, the previous day, maybe being a Monday, that Bolanle had already told her that somebody was owing him and he was going to do something to that person. So we can say naturally, Bolanle was a violent person. If you know your friend is a violent person, you don't need to keep such friends. Don't play to be good to your own detriment. We have to learn from people's mistakes, and we will not want people to learn from our own mistakes. Don't give violent friends. Don't give out the money you cannot forgo. If you want to help, help and look the other side. Don't capitalize on your help, or don't fight to get that thing back, because the other person might be up to what you don't understand. Thank you, all my friends. Thank you, all my followers. Thank you for always being there for us. And if today is your first time of seeing me, kindly click the like button and the subscribe button, and you are going to stay updated on all our stories.